Hey guys, Corey here, and I've got a new process video for you today. Not too long ago, I did a double page spread, but it was a scrapbook page on a scrapbook page. Instead of it being two pages side by side, it was actually a page, but it had tracing paper over it, and so I layered the two pages together. It was just because I had a story that I wanted to make sure I wanted to tell, but I didn't really have the space for it on the front of the page. So I didn't do a video of that one, so I decided that it would be great to go ahead and do a video of that for this page, which is about my daughter's 14th birthday. So in my quest to have more meaningful scrapbook pages, I decided that for this page I was going to write down a bunch of stuff that I knew about her without asking her, just things that I've observed about her on her birthday. And so that's what this whole thing is. So I started off with just a piece of cardstock. It's an 8.5 by 12, and that way I could run it through my printer. And I just listed off in a Word document all kinds of different things that I knew about her. Then I ran the paper, that cardstock, through my printer to print it all off on the side like that. After that, I did add two colored strips on the side to make it a 9 by 12. Now, I know there's not like a lot of page protectors out there that are 9 by 12, but I've been doing a bunch of pages that size here lately, and I really like it. It's a good size for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep working on that, but just to kind of keep the size consistent, I did add the extra 1/2 inch on the edge, plus it gives a little color to the page. Then the rest of it is I had this idea of just having 14, since it's her 14th birthday, written all up and down the page. So I found out how to spell it in French and Spanish, and I'm using Roman numerals, and then also numbers and then words. And so the name of the page obviously is 14. But I've just got it written a bunch of different ways in a bunch of different fonts with a bunch of different letter stickers up and down the page. So all of those 14s I'm actually putting on the tracing paper. The tracing paper is layered on top of the cardstock, and right now all I'm doing is adding all of those letters to the tracing paper. I love this way to do a double page spread. It's really fun because you get all your story, you've got tons of space to put story and other kinds of things on there, and then because the tracing paper you can see through it, you can embellish both the top and the bottom. And what I try to do is keep it so that the layers, you can see what's underneath it as well, and kind of figure out how to have it all layered but all work together. So that's what I do with this little birthday word sticker. I want it underneath, so I've just gonna try and make sure that it's in the right spot so that it comes through and it's not completely covered up by everything else. And then I do it again up on the top with B-Day for birthday also. What I've done is I've just used some washi tape to kind of stick down where the tracing paper needs to go, so I can easily flip it back and forth and not get it all messed up and not have the layers move around a bunch. So I had to finish this page up the next day, so the lighting's different because I'm actually filming during the day instead of at night, so I've got some nice natural light coming through. And now I'm just going to work on embellishing the page. I'm using a bunch of Felicity Jane stuff. I went ahead and I had ordered a couple of different things after I saw some people talk about Felicity Jane materials, and so I ordered a couple kits, and amazingly all of this stuff, which is so awesome, I love this, works so perfectly with these pictures. The colors are just absolutely perfect. And what I really thought was cool about these kits was that I got a couple different months worth, and they even work together. So that's kind of a fun little way to go about it. Lots of, it seems like the more supplies you buy, the more you actually have that all coordinate. So I thought that was kind of fun. So I'm just looking to see where I can put some of these flowers. I want some behind and I want some above. That makes it so the front and the back of the double page all works together. And then I'm going to just adhere down the things that I've got in the background. This flower just didn't seem to work in the back. I felt like it needed to be layered, so I went ahead and I used some adhesive foam things and put it on top so you get a nice little layered look out of it. I tried to use this vellum too, but I had put so much on the background already that it was just not going to work. So I ended up not using that at all. But the back definitely needed a little bit more. So what I did is I've got these Jane Davenport mermaid markers, and they've got just a really pretty tone to them. So I'm just using that to lightly be able to add a little color to that cardstock behind. The two colors that I end up using of the mermaid markers are beach, and then later on I come back and I use Pirate's Gold too, just which end up being the basically the pink and the yellow that are I've used on the front or in the flowers. This is the Pirate's Gold one. Just adding a little bit of color here and there. Now, what I have not done is the back is not stuck down, so I'm just going to go ahead and move that so that I can let that dry, and then I can continue to work on the tracing paper front. Just a few more little embellishments here and there, adding in just a little strip right underneath the 14, and then there's a little button that I'm going to put on right there, and then there's these little heart stickers, and then there's also these little rubber heart things in the Felicity Jane stuff that I thought were really cute, and I'm just going to layer those here and there along the page as well. What I have noticed is that things adhere differently to tracing paper than they do to cardstock, and where normally I would stitch down almost all of my, especially chipboard letters, I don't necessarily have to do that. It seems like with the tracing paper, it's almost like just the different texture of the paper kind of just makes those things stick. So I'm not gonna stitch down any of these letters, and it seems like the hot glue really does, if you do adhere a little bit extra, my hot glue seems to work really well. I haven't really tried any other adhesive on the tracing paper just because I worry about the rippling of it, but the hot glue doesn't seem to ripple it too much, so that's kind of nice. So once this page, oh well, it's almost done being dry, I just used my paper towels to kind of take up some of the extra pooling of the paint, and then my heat gun to just kind of get it all set really well. I hate waiting for stuff, so I just wanted to go ahead and get it done so I can get this page finished. And then I layered the two together, and I'm going to run the edge through my sewing machine, but I did use some washi tape to just kind of hold it together because when I've done this before, they kind of separate sometimes, and I didn't want that. I wanted to make sure that the two pages went on in a nice little line and didn't get all wonky. So after I stitched that together, my page is finished. So super easy, super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope that you guys decide that you want to try this type of double page spread. And if you have any questions, leave them for me in the comments. Thanks so much. Thanks for stopping by.